Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to Joe's Corner. This time I'm joined by a very cool person who does a lot of good music and just released an album. I am joined by Celeste Orion. Say hi, introduce yourself, plug everything you want to plug. Let them know.
Sounds great. I'm Celeste Ryan, Catgirl DJ of IRIAM US. I DJ every single morning over on the platform. I have just released a brand new music album. I stream on IRIAM, YouTube, Twitch, and occasionally TikTok. Very, very, very rarely. I love what I do. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a variety streamer. I play video games. I play video games. That's a variety. And yeah, no, I love what I've been doing. I've been streaming as a VTuber since March of last year, as Celeste since November 15th. I launched IRIAM US. I was the first streamer on the platform.
So yeah, I wanted to ask about that because I saw you were advertising, talking about how there's about 10, you said, I think it was 10,000 daily or something like that in Japan, and now they're coming over here. Can you explain IRIAM to me? Because I was looking into it last night, but I had to stop because of the windstorm.
Yeah, no problem. IRIAM US is a Japanese platform. Not US, but the IRIAM is a Japanese platform that launched about 7 years ago. It has won multiple awards for being a top platform, mobile platform for VTubers in Japan. It came over to the US last November 15th. It launched exactly at 5 p.m. I was the first streamer on the platform. IRIAM is a platform for VTubers. First and foremost, it is live 2D, so all of us are live 2D models. Everyone currently on the app has went through an interview process, been nominated as a founding streamer, and we stream on the platform. A lot of us do it daily. I've been running for 110 days as of today in a row. Um, yeah, it's insane. And yeah, it's a phenomenal platform. There's so many amazing people, so many amazing VTubers, from likes of Niaru to so many Rio. There's just tons of amazing content creators on the platform. And yeah, I love it very much. It's very, very great.
Cool. Because I was looking at it last night. Because with stuff that's happening on the Purple app, I might be trying to switch. So I've been looking around, seeing what we have to offer.
Oh, that's totally understandable. Purple app has a history of struggles with things,
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But I want to talk about something more positive than that. So, how did you come across VTubing as a whole?
As a whole,
Yeah.
that is a very, very good question. So, prior to being a VTuber, I was actually just a plain old live streamer for about 5 years. Well, 4 years. And I came across VTubing on TikTok of all places. I came across individuals streaming on TikTok doing like short live streams and such, and I thought, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I like animation. I like anime. That maybe I can give this a shot. And I went ahead and I started looking into it a little bit, started looking into what needs to be done, created myself a little live 3D Vroid model for a little while, used that for a while, dropped over to live 2D, and then, eventually I made it over to here, and that's where we are now.
So, is there like a VTuber that you found that you got like attached to, which people call it Oshi, people that look, VTubers that people look up to? Iron Mouse. Okay.
Iron Mouse.
Mousy has really inspired a lot of people. Now that I think about it, talked to a lot of people like, yeah, Mousy, or like, there's Silver Veil that people talk about and stuff, but they tend to really go, yeah, Mousy really inspired me, and it's one of those things that, with all, how people kind of downplay VTubers sometimes, it shows you the reach, and especially with how Iron Mouse has done a lot of, charity work and stuff of that nature, how far her reach goes. And it goes really, really far. Needless to say.
Absolutely.
So, when you were deciding, okay, going from IRL to VTubing, were like, hey, I want to be, what you are now, like a cat girl, or were you something first originally and then turned into what you are now? Or was it always, this is what I want to be, and it's just, casually evolved a little bit?
Oh boy, no, it was a path. It was a pathway that I did not see. The curves were unexpected. So when I first created my first live 2D model, not live 2D, like Vroid model.
Mhm.
It was basically a lookalike. I made it look at pretty much exactly like what I look like in person, and I was like, I'm just gonna do like live streams as a model version of me instead of like real me, since I didn't want to spend 4 hours every morning getting dressed. Um, and then over time, it evolved into I went by the identity of a total trash panda for a long time. I was a raccoon. I was a raccoon VTuber. Um, and I existed as a total trash man. Didn't really work with censorship on Purple app and on TikTok and other platforms. They don't really like it when your username has trash in it. But so I was that for a good bit. And then eventually, with the opportunity with IRIAM, they not only did they provide me with the platform to use, but they provided me with an entirely brand new model. It took from my basic live 2D model and provide me this beautiful one that was, literally designed by a gaming company, Aiming Inc. in Japan, as well as was rigged by a company, Tris 2020 in Japan. And they gave this to me entirely for free. So the adjustment from Trash Panda to Cat Girl was unexpected, but quite liked.
So it's kind of like you were able to pretty much attach yourself and like really take the form. I mean, obviously, I've seen your streams, so obviously you did. But when you first got it, did it take a minute or two to get used to it, or was it kind of like just a click and it just naturally happened?
Oh boy, it took a minute. I feel like I'm still learning, you know.
Mm,
Every day is a learning opportunity. When it came to when I first started VTubing, it took a minute. Like I needed to learn how to do everything. I didn't know any of the like, terminology, nothing like that. But when I came to Celeste, moving from my prior model to Celeste to this identity was a bit of a jump. The model is very aesthetically different, very aesthetically. Um, it moves a lot more. There's a lot more to it than my prior model, and so I just kind of threw myself into it. I had a lot of prep time before I went live the first time. I
mm.
received my model in August, and I didn't debut Celeste until October. So there was a lot of prep time for me to practice with her, kind of get used to her, and just like I did a bunch of practice streams. Actually, I did a bunch of practice streams, and I fell in love with it. She's very much me these days. So.
Well, that's good to hear. I love to see that because I know a lot of people either struggle switching to a new persona or identity, and always have if they had like a catchphrase or a certain like quirk or something for their old persona. Sometimes it slips through, and they, especially for those who try to stay in that that character that they make. So have you had that problem where just same old, never had that issue?
I would say there is a gap between who my prior life was and
Mm.
my current life. There's definitely a gap. So once in a blue moon, I will say something that I'm like, wait a second, that's not right, that's not right. I can't. I used to call myself trash a lot. That was like just part of the bit. But now, if I call myself trash, people are gonna be like, "What the hell? Why are you calling yourself trash?
Are you
Like, what are you
okay? Like,
doing?
do you need to
Are you
talk?
okay?" So it's like, oh no, 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 no. I gotta I gotta keep that in mind. But yeah, no, it was a bit of adjustment, but I think the identity, the role I've taken on as Celeste has been
Mm.
much more natural to me compared to even my prior life. So.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. So you are a variety streamer, and usually what comes with variety streaming is video games. Do you remember when you first discovered video games, or were you like a little babu and you really don't remember? It's just kind of been there your whole life.
My parents were MMO gamers since before I was
Oh,
born.
well then.
The
Well,
gaming has been in my life since I was probably in diapers. So, um,
yeah, it's in the blood. That's what you're telling me. I get
yeah.
that. I understand. I
Mhm.
understand. So we know how you got into it. Do you still really like MMOs, or was it kind of like you grew up on them and you're tired of them, or do you still actively play MMOs, whether it be on stream or not, just like in general?
I have evolved with MMOs. So with MMOs these days are kind of passe, kind of in the background of like gaming. They're no longer the forefront. They're no longer everything that everyone plays. So I still play Final Fantasy 14 occasionally. I still
Mhm.
play Elder Scrolls Online occasionally, and um I love Destiny 2. And that's one of those like MMOs that's not quite an MMO.
Mhm.
And Destiny 2 has always been kind of my passion game. So yes and no, because I really wouldn't consider Destiny something like a regular MMO, but at the same time, it's the way I still interact with the platform.
No, no, no. I get that. I get that. So, since you've gotten off MMOs and are not your main priority, what games do you really try to like, or what games do you tend to go to? Like, which ones are like, all right, I'm booting up stream, I want to play this kind of genre, or this series is what I'm feeling today.
Hmm.
Like, which
Hmm.
what is that you gravitate to?
Helldivers and Balaltro. Um,
Yes, very
no.
similar. I understand. I understand.
Variety for real, right? No, so games that typically draw my attention are games that are action packed, and typically I can do something and I can go places and do like have constant like interaction.
Mhm.
So like Elden Ring, Helldivers. Um, oh gosh, my brain's blanking on other action. Warframe. Cyberpunk, just basically games that are sort of RPGs, but not quite.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's not. I don't want to sit in there in a menu or sit in there in a chat, talking to NPCs for half the stream. I want to be able to keep in the action while also still evolving my character along the way.
So, would Breath of the Wild and like Tears of the Kingdom be up the alley, or is it a little too much NPC talk for you?
I've never played a Legend of Zelda game since Ocarina of Time.
Oh my! I will say, just coming off finishing Tears of the Kingdom literally 3 hours ago.
Oh God.
It's really worth it because I do get what you mean. Where especially on stream, you don't want to just be dialogue half the stream. I really do get that. Breath of the Wild, it will put and Tears of the Kingdom. There is as much dialogue as you want. There is not the only stuff that's forced is the main. Like every other dialogue, there's not much. You can blow through it, and then there's plenty of action. So I will say, if you got a Switch, I would recommend. And plus, a lot of people like watching people experience it first time. So like, I will say that.
I'll have to do it. I'll have to give it a go. I'll have to do like a whole run of Zeldas. Just hit every Zelda. Zelda's the main character, right? I'm kidding. It's Link. I know. I
I was
know.
supposed to say, oh no, how do I break this? How do I bring this up? So,
uh,
is there like, do you have any history? When I say this, history with it. Obviously, you grew up on it, and obviously you do stuff now. But have you ever like done tournaments? Have you ever gone to like conventions and enter like a Tekken tournament or enter like a Call of Duty like tournament thing for money? Have you ever done anything like that for gaming?
Destiny 2 actually is a big example of that. I have competed in multiple of Destiny 2's Twitch rival events. In
Ooh.
fact, the launch of the raid, excuse me, for Final Shape's launch raid, me and my team competed, and we were the first ones to the first encounter of that raid. We got stuck there for the entire stream, but we were the first ones there. So yeah, no, I love competing in tournaments and such. A lot of the games I play don't really have a lot of that opportunity, but if I can get a chance at it, I'll go for it. I love trying new things, and competition is always fun.
So would you? So I'm assuming if they came up to you and were like, "Hey, we want you in Apex Rivals, or we want you in Marvel, like a Marvel Rivals tournament, or something of that nature," would you probably be down? Yep, yep, yep. Okay.
Yes, yes. I've been eyeing some of those Marvel Rivals tournaments recently. I'm gonna bring my Punisher in, gonna punish people.
Yeah, I've been looking at it too, but I'm like the most mid penny that like is out there. Like I'm decent, but like you throw me in rank, and I'm like, yep, I'm sitting here at silver probably, and that's all I'm going. But boy, oh, I can shoot. Don't you worry, I'll hit at least once.
We need a tank occasionally that can just do that, just stand
Just
there.
stand there and
Yeah.
take it. Yep. Oh, don't worry, I can take it. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. So when it comes to games, if someone you know is just getting into gaming, like they always grew up on sports or they're really into arts but never did game, and they come, hey, what are 5 games you recommend me to play? Like, what are your top 5 games? Like, you have to play this once in your life. Are there like any games, or is there like at least you know of one that you're like you have to play?
Yeah. Yeah, I can. I think I can name top five. I'm not going to say that these are the order of my favorite games, but I'm going to say that for 100% sure, these are games you should absolutely try. Journey is
Mm-hmm.
one of the best games ever made. Cloudpunk has an amazing story and is underrated like crazy. Cyberpunk 2077, I think, is one of those games that is just once of a lifetime. That I can never imagine it being ever beaten as quality of writing and character development and just action. It's truly something phenomenal. The original Destiny, going through the story there on that, and then probably Flower. Flower. I'm a big fan of the Journey Flower team. They do a phenomenal job with telling stories through simple mechanics.
Mm-hmm. I will vouch. Journey and Flower are very beautiful and stunning games. I still remember the first time playing it, and it was very beautiful. Because it was one of those things that I picked it up because people are like, oh, you should play this game. You need something to relax. Like, this is the game you should play. And I'm like, I don't know. And then one day, just, I sat down, I think, for 6 or 8 hours and just played. And I believe I went through Journey in about that time. Because I know it's a short game if you want it to be short, and it can be long if you want it to be long. And I just got into the world. So, like, I really understand where you're coming from with Journey. It's top notch. So,
Yes.
with VTubing, sometimes, most of the time, 90% of the time, anime goes hand in hand with it. Do you watch anime?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Are you watching anything in the current season right now?
Dungeon Meshi. Delicious in Dungeon. I love that show. It's so good.
It's very good, very good. Are you watching Shangri-La Frontier or anything like that that's like popping off right now?
That those words went over my head, so probably not.
Okay. So
I've heard a lot about Don Don.
The Don Don's very
that's
good.
The next one.
The first episode will either turn people off or they'll keep going. There is one scene which I will not discuss on here that's where people got really turned off, but it's just one thing and nothing really happens.
Oh boy.
It's just easier if you go watch it, and then you'll be like, I see now. But
That makes sense.
I will say, as someone who's been doing Anitube since like 2015, 2016-ish, on and off, but seriously since 2018, Shangri-La Frontier and Furin are the best anime I've seen in a long time.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
Shangri-La is so basically, you know the premise of Sword Art, right? Like the
Sword Art
full
Online,
immersion. Yeah. The full immersion VR. That's this. But there's no like death or anything, or they get stuck in it. So this guy, the main character Sunraku, he is what they call a trash like player. So he gets all the trashiest games possible and then beats them. Like games people cannot beat. He finds out how to beat it and does it. So one day, the person who gets the game from are like, you need to play it like a god tier game. And that is Shangri-La Frontier. And this show has amazing world building, amazing flawless action scenes. It's good. And season 2 is wrapping up in the next 3 episodes. So you could you'll get like 48 episodes if you want to like binge it in one go pretty much. And it's amazing. 100%.
I'm gonna have to ask you where it's streaming on, because that sounds phenomenal.
This is not an ad.
I heard about this.
Crunchyroll, if you have that.
Crunchyroll.
But I mean, pretty much every major streaming website or pirate site, whichever you want to go to. But if you have Crunchyroll,
Pirate
it's definitely
sign behind us.
Yep, exactly. Crunchyroll is definitely the way to go.
Sounds good. Sounds really interesting. I actually, one of my streams recently, someone mentioned an anime about someone who's a trash gamer suddenly playing a game that's not trash and being OP at it. So, that sounds like it.
That's it. And what I really like, though, is it doesn't just stay on Shangri-La Frontier. He'll go, all right, I need a break and clear my head and get some thoughts. So he puts in a completely other game, and within 2 to 3 episodes, you know the whole backstory of the game, you know how it functions, and you know if it's like trash tier or it's like good tier, like mid tier, that kind of thing, and you see how the mechanics play. Like, they actually do a quick deep dive into that game. and they do it
pretty
3
cool.
times. They're currently on the 3rd time right now, and it's
That
just
sounds epic.
great. I can keep going on. I need to stop.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to talk about this the whole time. That's fine.
The second one I recommend. Do you like fantasy anime?
Yeah. One of
Free-
my favorite anime of is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. So yeah.
Yes,
Rimuru.
it's so good. Slime is so good. This one, Frieren, is basically, all right, we defeated the Demon Lord. Now what? So you follow this elf, Frieren, who's been alive for 1,000+ years. So time is not a concept she understands. Because
She's blue.
well, I wish she's not blue. She's how do I
She
put?
got blue hair though.
No, white hair. She's
White hair. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've probably seen gifs of her with her smug face with a bottle and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's that anime. So the premise is, all right, I defeated the Demon Lord with these people that I've gotten. These are the closest people I've gotten to know over the years. All right, let's all meet back here for the meteor shower in 50 years. Time passes, and she realizes, well, all right, everyone around me's old and about to die. So they have this one little last adventure for them. They go see this meteor shower. Then she sees her friends slowly die off, and it finally realizes to her, I never appreciated the time I had with them. So what she does, she ends up taking an apprentice from her friend, and she goes on a journey to the places they went. So she can relive this journey, relive those life lessons she learned while on this journey to defeat the Demon Lord. And she sees the impact that she had, as well as Himmel, the hero, and everyone else in her party in the world around them. And as well as current dilemmas and stuff of that nature. It is one of the most beautiful and well-written anime I have seen in a very long time.
I absolutely have heard about this one. It's the one with the old guy, and he's bald now. I think I cried when I watched the freaking short on TikTok on it. So yeah. It definitely was definitely something I'm interested in watching. Yes.
First episode had me in tears, and that's hard for me to do. But literally, the first episode had me crying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anime. All right. So
it's okay.
With anime, are there any that you're like, these are my favorite, these are like my go-to, or I would recommend with anime?
Absolutely. I feel like with any content or topic that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to have some favorites because I love these things. Number one, probably the best anime ever made to mankind is Angel Beats. I feel like it's one of the few ones that will make you cry on your 10th time watching it. It is incredibly beautiful. It is really, really well done. And it's worth a watch no matter what kind of anime you enjoy. It's not full of fan service. It's just really, really good. Number two is probably going to be Ergo Proxy for the thinking. It makes you think a lot. It's a really, really classic. It's underrated. And I just love the character development between Ray and the other guy, because I totally am forgetting his name. I'm sure. Vincent. And I love the character development between the characters and just the evolution and the thought process and how the entire show flows out. It's amazing. Those are probably my top two. If I had to throw in a third, it's going to probably either be Cyberpunk Edge Runners or Ghost in the Shell, the classic version, standalone complex, not the newer ones. Yeah.
See, a lot of people... Ergo Proxy's an older one that a lot of people don't mention. So it took me by surprise when you said it. And I really like it because it's good. Ergo Proxy is good. It's just, it's one of those things that I feel like people go, well, it was of its time, when in reality, it's still a lot of thought-provoking, like, show. It's, like, still very thought-provoking. So, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I feel like people sleep on it. I'm a little young, but I love watching older anime, just because I feel like a lot of them are slept on. I just really love the art style. I feel like anime from like the 2000s and the 90s have an art style that I just really, really vibe with. And Ergo Proxy itself is just so good. It's funny when it needs to be funny. It's serious when it needs to be serious, and it brings you into this emotional arc of basically a character going from like spoiled rich girl to everything is falling apart, and this, all of this is because Hey Daddy. Yeah.
So, how did you come across anime? Let's backtrack. Was it a friend in school that showed you? Did you stay up when Toonami came on? Like, how did that happen? Or did you get like an 18 plus DVD by accident from a rental place and found out the hard way?
So in addition to my parents being gamers, they were also anime nerds. I was introduced and exposed to anime from the 90s, like Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon, and things like that, really, really, really early in my life. And Cardcaptor Sakura is like still one of my like personal favorites. It's just kind of like a special treat for me. Tokyo Mew Mew, things like that. So, but the very first anime I probably ever watched was Sailor Moon, and that one is a truly special thing. I think I watched that with my mother when I was very little. So,
now, Sailor Moon's like one of the good ones. If whenever I have kids, there's like 3 that I will get them to watch. Sailor Moon's one of them. Dragon Ball is going to be another one, because it's one of those generational things that, even though it's like 20 episodes of screaming, there's still lessons, life lessons to be learned in it. And if I think the third one, I've thought it long and hard, is probably going to be Inuyasha.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It's
no judgment.
It's one of those things that, like, I remember distinctly waking up early for school when I was younger, and I would go downstairs, especially like on a Monday. Like, I just catch it. Toonami's like, it's 5 o'clock, so you watch, Inuyasha. You see the friendships that are formed. You see that, they have to overcome these differences, especially when, essentially Kakome's isekai, essentially, when she goes back in time, and she has to deal with, a different way of life while, trying to just get their thing. It's one of those things that, like, it's a staple, and I really do feel like they should watch it. And obviously, they're going to end up watching Pokemon, because Pokemon never dies. That's going to be everywhere.
I want to be the really best. Exactly. No one ever was.
Exactly.
I totally forgot an anime. My number one most favorite anime, actually. I totally forgot. And this one's really ancient. Real ancient. I totally forgot about this one. Dot Hack Sign.
Oh, that's a flashback.
It's so good. First, I consider it the very first true isekai of the genre of video game isekais like that. And it is truly something incredibly spectacular. The art does not hold up, just letting you know.
Oh, no, it doesn't, but it's still good. It just, you can't just put a shiny new little thing that came out with, like, from Studio Madhouse that's, like, popping off beautiful, and then there's that. It's like,
it looks terrible. No, but I love it. I love it so much. And it is very, very, very good anime. Very, very thought-provoking. Very, very good in general. So, but yeah, no, I could not miss that anime. If I feel bad for not even mentioning it the first time.
So, did you ever play the Dot Hack games?
Yeah, I had an emulator because, like,
understandable.
PS2s were ancient already, but I got to this point. So I emulated the Dot Hack Infection game onto my PC. So yeah,
understandable. That, and they are expensive if you want them physically.
I imagine they're old now.
I think the fourth one is the most expensive one, and it's sitting like $150 somewhere around there. If you
putting it on my throne.
Yeah, hey guys, you want to get this for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm not telling your viewers to, make sure to get this cat girl Dot Hack Infection and all 4 games.
Not at all flashing across screen. No, not at all. So
yeah, no, the series is amazing.
You mentioned Angel Beats, which leads me to Girl Dead Monster, which leads me to what music do you tend to listen to? And this will all make sense in a minute for the viewers, because you do something very unique compared to a lot of other people. But
yeah,
what type of music do you tend to listen to? Because Girl Dead Monster is kind of like up my alley.
How do I say this without revealing like what I listen to, what I do? I listen to a lot here. I'm gonna go around it here. I listen to a lot of lo-fi, J-pop, a bit of rock, synthwave, electronica, and house.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hint, hint at the house bit. I got this. I can wink. I can do this. I know my model can do this.
There you go. There you go. So, when you were growing up, for me, my parents listened to a lot of country, and considering that your parents were gamers, they watched anime. Were you exposed to, I'm assuming, J-pop, J-rock, and all this stuff when you were younger as well, and it was kind of in the household, or was it you actually, you listened to pop, you listened to rock, you listened to metal? Like, what was that upbringing like with it when it comes to music?
Oh, well, it was a bit weird. So my dad did listen to a lot of J rock and J pop, and my mom actually listened to a lot of country. So there's a little bit of country in me. I grew up country. My family is country. It comes in my accent occasionally. I try not to, but it does. But they also listened to a lot of 80s rock and such like that. So I was kind of surrounded by all sorts of music growing up. But yeah, no, I was exposed to Duran Gray and a few other Japanese rock bands from the time frame. I can't think of off the top of my head. That's the only one I still listen to. But yeah, no, it was just like it was constant exposure to a bunch of different types of music. So,
and eventually, listening to music, it kind of inspires someone to have a passion for other things. How did you decide, I want to give DJing a try? Like, how did that come across?
We're finally here. Yay, I'm a cat girl DJ. No, so how I got into music is, well, first off, I started just listening to music. I started listening to a bunch of different types of things. At the time, what was really, really, really popular was Daft Punk. I watched Tron Legacy. I was really, really into Daft Punk, and I was seeing them work these machines, and I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing with mixing these sounds and the MIDI machines and all the beautiful things that they could put up together? And I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And so I just started looking into it. Started watching DJs and watching other people just put together music in different and unique ways, and I just kind of started falling in love with it. And then I fell in love with house music, and I've never left. Porter Robinson, my baby. Hikaru Tada, Sawana Hiroyuki, just music in general. I just love music. To that point, it inspired me to continue to work to create my own music, and then continue to learn how to make better transitions, better just do a DJing stuff. And I love what I do.
So, preparing to talk about DJing specifically, I went to two people that I know. One, my editor, because they DJ, and they were actually practicing this morning. And
awesome.
One of my coworkers. So, with him, growing up, he did a DJ. He performed everywhere. The schools hired him as their DJ for all their events. Like all the county schools. Yeah, exactly. And as he grew up, it's how he paid for things. Before VTubing, were you DJing for like parties? Were you doing little gigs, or was it more so it came out once you started doing VTubing and streaming?
So I did in-house stuff. So when I would do a lot of what's called bedroom DJing. Basically, I DJ'd for myself. I DJ'd for some friends. I would do small things at parties for friends. But in general, most of the time I did it for myself. Once VTubing came into the picture, I could start doing it for other people, and that was super, super exciting. And it's really, really become more of a thing here for this life than I did in my prior life. But my prior life was all video games. This one, I've really been able to lean into DJing, and now I do pretty much a set every single morning, which is wild. Especially if you know how long it takes together to put the set together. But yeah, no, it definitely started off just bedroom DJing, just doing it for myself.
So I have two questions actually. One,
yeah,
how often a day do you sit here plan? Because obviously, the more you do it, the quicker it gets. So on average now, how long or how much time a day do you set aside to prepare for the next list? Which, since you're doing it daily over, I'm assuming, IRAM, or IRAM?
IRIAM.
IRIAM. There we go. See, look, I'm messing up stuff like I told you I would before this. Since you pretty much do it daily over IRIAM, how long do you spend getting the list ready, getting, you know, all the like stuff you would need?
So it takes 2 to 3 hours. It takes 2 to 3 hours for me to go through my music list, kind of decide what kind of set I want to do. A lot of time I just will default to house. I'm a house cat. I love playing house music. That's what I go for. But occasionally, IRIAM really allows me to expand. So in those situations, it takes a little longer, sometimes up to 4 hours. And I'm putting together BPM, I'm putting together key, I'm making sure the artists sound good together. I've done sets I've done an EDM set, I did an electro jazz set. I have done even the chiptune set, which was fun and interesting, and I will never do it again. Um, but it takes about 2 to 3 hours. Now, if I'm going to do something like real legit, something that I really, really want to spend some time with, I will probably take a day. And that is like for situations like this coming Friday, where this is self-advertisement insert.
Go for it.
Coming Friday, I am doing my first live debut DJ set on YouTube. And so I've been planning that one all week. And so it definitely depends. With IRIAM, it's a lot more casual. It's a lot more chill. There's a lot more just talking and interacting involved, since it's like a very first person by person on person kind of interaction with the app. Whereas like YouTube and other platforms, it's more like I gotta sit down, I gotta do my music. That's the point. And so yeah, I think that answers your question.
Which links down below to all the YouTube and everything else that you could want. Please go check them out. Anyway, I don't know where that came from. So, with this, what is your favorite type? Well, I know you said house. If there was a second favorite type of music to work with, what would that be? What would you gravitate more towards more if you say if house was an option for some reason? What would be the, all right, let me do this then?
Oh boy, I've been really feisting around EDM and hardcore. Another good DJ friend of mine has been doing a lot of hardcore sets recently, hardstyle, and I've been enthralled. So I've been doing a lot more hardcore hardstyle myself. So yeah, Japanese hardcore is probably my second go-to.
Okay. I got so many questions. I'm trying to, because I find DJing very interesting, especially since my editor and they're a close friend of mine. Since they've really got into it, I've been watching it behind the scenes. So what? Okay, let's talk about your equipment. What type of equipment do you use? Is it all like, do you have physical boards and stuff like mixers and everything that you have plugged into your computer? Is it all just on the computer? What do you have?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently, thanks to my amazing, beautiful community, I love them so much. I'm currently working with a DDJ Rev 1 deck. That is a DJ deck with it's more meant for, what's the term? I always forget it. Scratching, but I don't do a lot of scratching since I'm a house, but it's still really good. It's a really good deck, a really good basic deck. I use that alongside my Yamaha AG06 Mark II audio system. And between those two items, and then I also have a stream deck, which is where I run my soundboard off of. So between those three items, that's how I run my audio. I also use the program DJ Serato Pro, which was also provided to me by my beautiful community, to do my mixes.
All right, cool. Is there like any, if you could have like your dream equipment? Because I know there's like Cadillacs and Ferraris of DJ equipment, like very expensive stuff. Is there something like, if you had no budget and do you know what you would get? Like, is there one thing that you've always been eyeing that you're like, if I ever get the chance, I will?
XDJ AZ. It is a all-in-one DJ deck with the ability to entirely run the audio system, including your program, your mixer, on the deck itself. Basically, everything is handled through that. You could plug it into your audio setup, your speakers, your whatever you're working with, and just go. It's incredibly expensive. I'm talking like $3,200. But it is beautiful device. It lets you keep better track of the tempo. It lets you keep better track of the key. It lets you keep functions, all placed right on the deck. And there's so many buttons, and I love it. I love it so much. Dream goals.
So, how is the audience when you do your shows? Like, how do they really get into it, or do you have it like in emo only mode, so you can just like it's a constant rave of like cheerings and stuff like that, or how do you go about performing a set in the morning? Like, what's your like how's the energy? How's the turnout? How is that for you?
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna some more self promotion for IRIAM.
Yeah, go for it.
I currently have 1,205 followers on IRIAM. I am over 200 more followers than any other person on the platform because I do music consistently and every single day. Turnout is typically anywhere from 10 to 20 individuals at a time, which is pretty good for a brand new platform and still in beta. And I conversate. I have conversations while I'm doing my music. I'll be performing. I'm dancing, using my little model, dancing around on there. But the interaction is amazing. I have people commenting on my transitions. I have people commenting on the songs I'm picking. My key. I have other DJs stopping in. Some VTuber DJs that are pretty awesome. And yeah, it's a pretty good vibe since IRIAM is entirely just a just chatting format, and I'm one of the wild ones that runs all of my audio setup through into it. It really presents an opportunity to just conversate about like the music I'm choosing, why I'm choosing the artist, what the genre is each day. I get feedback. People tell me, like, hey, they want to hear a set like a hard style set, or a Eurodance was requested. That was terrible. I hate Eurodance. I love Eurobeat, but don't make me do a set, please. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's really great because it offers me the opportunity to have conversation and just like discuss different things that's currently going on. And people really get into the music, and sometimes I'll do things like I had today where it was a request stream where I'll bring out my deck, I'll bring out my audio system, I'll let people just choose what kind of songs they want to listen to, and then I'll flow into it. Like they recommend some Teddy Lloyd. There was like 2 or 3 recommendations for Teddy Lloyd. I don't know if you know who Teddy Lloyd is, but he's a artist that did the music for Panty and Stocking, and it's phenomenal. And so I was able to roll into like 4 or 5 different songs from him, as well as a few from other amazing musicians out there it was a lot of fun.
So with all these moments, all these things that come from DJing, from just playing video games and stuff like that, what are some of your favorite moments you've had so far? Especially since you've taken on this persona that is Celeste. What are some of your like, if I had to stop tomorrow, I will always look on these moments. Like, are there any of that?
Is it bad to say every moment?
No, it's not. And that's a good thing though, because that means you've been enjoying this journey nonstop and it's been treating you well. If that was a take of like, I will remember every moment of it, that means you've had a good journey. You've been enjoying it nonstop.
I will say this. I've been streaming on IRIAM and streaming in general like for 110 days straight since November 15th, since I launched as Celeste. Every single day I've streamed at least an hour. Most days I've streamed 5 to 7 hours a day. And every moment with my community, every moment I've been able to spend time with them, vibe with them, chill with them, make music with them, game with them, laugh, scream, cry, has been incredibly just an absolute treasure. When we celebrated the 100th day in a row this last week, it was truly a moment of success. It was like we did it, and now where do we go from here? I would say like some standout moments that didn't happen on stream was I got to drive around a robot at a convention last Saturday, which was pretty cool. That's something that I never thought would ever happen in the my entire life. I got to meet my fans face to face in a way, and Yeah, no, I think just every experience with my community has been phenomenal. I can't wait to see where we go next.
And see, it's like one of those being able to at least to do something like that, even off stream, having that fan meetup, being able to drive the robot, go look around the con, and meet people and come up to you, and they are able to express their thankfulness or whatever they want to say to you. Those are the moments that streamers look for and want, and you are blessed enough to experience that, especially with all the hard work you're putting in, with all the sets, the putting aside. So on average, right now, we're hearing at least 5 to 7 streaming, then 2 to 3, possibly 4 just for music. So that is 9 to 11, 12 hours a day you spend just on this one thing. And it's nice to be able to hear your work pay off. It really is.
Yeah. And that's not counting my time on social media.
Yeah, that's not including like
advertising.
Yeah, not everything else. That's just those 2 things.
Yep. And it's worth it, though. It's worth it. I'm growing very rapidly. I have a community that is phenomenal, and every opportunity I get, just like even being on the show, has been an incredible experience. And I consider myself very lucky.
So, how I discovered you, and this is segueing into something that is currently being released right now, I found you because of this little game called Oshi Push. And I hear that you are a fellow affiliate. So, how did you find out about Oshi Push?
Twitter. So about that whole social media thing. So when I'm not doing music and not streaming, I am basically living the rest of my life on Twitter. And so I love being involved with things that support VTubers and help connect us with fans. And Oshi Push was the first real card game I've seen, and I love trading card games. When I was a kid, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I played Digimon. I played. You guys know Zatch Bell?
Oh, that's a flashback.
Oh my goodness. So I have cards from all of them. Chaotic. I mean, I still have the cards. I am insane. I have so many old cards. So when I saw that they made VTuber cards, when I saw that they were supporting content creators like me, who are just, regular individuals who work our tails off, quite literally, to create content, and they were supporting them, and it was a fan-made thing where fans were supporting it. It ran on what was it? Not Patreon.
Kickstarter.
It was a Kickstarter funded. It was funded by people who wanted to see something like this exist. I had to be involved. I had to get involved. And so, I immediately applied to be an affiliate, and I really think it's truly something fantastic, and I really hope to see it continue to grow. I know I have reached out to one of my local card shops to see about getting them to hold the cards there. So I'm hopeful for that. It's truly something phenomenal, and I can't wait to see where they go with this. I hope one day to make a card, but even if not, I'm hopeful for their success.
Yes, I am as well. And that's how I came across you, because of that affiliate program, which we need to play. I got a list of people I need to play with, because it is free on Tabletop Sim, and it's very good thanks to another affiliate, Weiss and Chill, being able to actually have a one-on-one that we can do. So
Teach me how to use Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, all right. Well, we're gonna need another 3 hours, but I got you. So with
I own it, I can't use it.
Trust me, I've had it for a long time and I can barely use it, so you're not the only one. So, as we start wrapping up, I want to talk about things. Obviously, there's certain plans, if you got them into motions, you can't talk about. But let's talk about what you want to do for the rest of the year. Is there anyone you would love to collab this year? Like, if you had a chance, is there some that you like, hey, I'm gonna shoot my shot basketball meme into the outer space. Do you want to collab? Is there someone that
Yeah, I actually am mutuals with her, and I'm too scared to ask. Mono Monet. I don't know if you know who she is, but she is a fellow DJ VTuber. She currently does live concerts at for V4 Mirai, and she's been down in LA and such. And I adore her very 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 much. And she's a phenomenal DJ. I would love to do a back to back with her. I think it'd be phenomenal to mix music together.
Mm-hmm. Going into this year, you dropped an album, which please go check out. It's very good. It's over on Celeste's YouTube. Go check it out. The full thing's there. Is there any other plans for the rest of the year that you can talk about? Obviously, there's stuff, you might have stuff in the works. Don't feel pressure to talk about any of that. Is there stuff that you openly want to do before the end of the year?
Outside of having the album on YouTube, we are planning to get it over onto Spotify, onto Tidal, and to Apple Music shortly. That is another big thing that is coming up. In addition to that, we are working our tails off to get into a convention. That is a big goal this year, is to be at another meet and greet at another convention. While I do have a few in mind, I have nothing set in stone as of yet. Outside of those two things, I think my community really, really is wanting a plushie of my chibi form, and I may be working on something. So I've been casually trying not to explain that it's in the process, but that is something that is happening. So
It's on the board. We're throwing stuff at it, seeing what sticks. You know.
Yeah.
Well, Celeste, I appreciate you giving me an hour of your time to sit back, let the community get to know you, to introduce you to newer people. Is there any final remarks you want to say? Anything you want to re-plug? Anything you want to just like get the word out? Life lessons? Anything of that nature? Now is your time.
Awesome. I'm more than happy to. First off, IRIAM US. It is an amazing platform that just dropped this last November on the 15th. It has phenomenal streamers, everyone you could ever be interested in watching and more. There's individuals that, create all sorts of content, from DJs like myself to individuals who do mukbangs to individuals who just hang out. It's a place to be. In addition to that, my album just dropped on YouTube, like has been mentioned. Please feel free to check that out. And just in general, this is something I say at every stream. It's the world could use more kindness. So, be kind out there, guys.
And with that, that's it. Thank you again, Celeste. I appreciate you giving me your time and having this opportunity to at least sit back and just talk. And sorry I went rambling about anime, because I have a problem apparently when it comes to it.
It's okay. I could talk about it for hours.
So with that, folks, we are out of here. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to try something new. Smash that like button. And I say that, I don't really say that, but apparently when I say that, it apparently lights up the whole thing down or something. I don't know. We'll find out if it actually did it or not.
Smash it.
Yeah, smash. But
smash it.
Until next time, folks, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.